Hello Marvelous Legends, it's David Display's Model Behavior and it's time for the second edition of the Legends Legacy Review. So let's delve into the Detolfs and see who we're going to be looking at this time. And it is Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, the Skyline Siren as she's also known. And yeah, here she is. What an interesting figure. I'm going to try and bust out this review nice and quick. Little 5 minutes. Let's take a look at her, and take a look at her we shall, because there's a lot to unpack here. But this is the first Hasbro Infinite wave. So this was like a whole new kind of sort of a game-changing wave for Hasbro, and they were doing a lot of new things, and some things worked, some things didn't. This was kind of a learning process, and there's some good and bad with Felicia Hardy here. What do I like? I think the actual female sculpt is pretty good. As the kids would say, she's kind of thick, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. I got into reading Spider-Man when I was like a young teen, and what can I say? I like a little cheesecake, and Mark Bagley provided that really well in my youth. And you know, now a few years later, I'm a red-blooded pansexual male, and I appreciate these kinds of ridiculous things that people go like, really? You have that in your collection? So yeah, she's a little curvy, a little busty, and that's kind of fun. I mean, comic books are all about kind of, you know, wish fulfillment and fantasy. That's why we had, you know, He-Man figures that, you know, look like Mr. Olympia, because it's this aspirational kind of thing. So I know there was a lot of controversy recently about a Wonder Woman cover where she's drawn as like a full-figured lady, and I'm not even going to touch this debate with a 10-foot pole, except for everything I just said. Okay, don't quote me on any of that. But this figure, let's back to the case in hand. This Felicia Hardy figure, you know what? I was ready to slam this figure when I was thinking about actually doing this review. I was like, oh, I'm not a fan of this figure. This is going to be, I've just you know, given out about Superior Spider-Man. Now I'm going to give out about Black Cat. But actually, having her back in hand, I actually like a lot more than I remember. What I didn't like, what I was ready to get annoyed about, was her fixed face right here. That kind of lifeless sort of looking face sculpt, and it is still an issue, you know? There's just nothing going on there. It's just, you know, so if you have her in like a dramatic pose or any kind of pose, it's just, and that's the biggest problem, and it's still a problem to this day. Hasbro, some poses, some faces are great. They're like, you know, really good like action poses, and other ones are just, it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Give me something to work with. So that's the biggest problem, which is a shame, because actually the facial features are pretty good. Like it's a pretty sculpted face. They've done a good job here, but it's just too like that. Okay, also the boots. The boots look great, but this is something that works in comic books. You know, Catwoman, the Black Cat, they can go out fighting crime in high heels and it's fine because it's a comic book. But try actually making this as a figure and you realize how impractical these are. She does not stand well at all. And I don't stand for figures that don't stand, and I don't stand for this. So that's a real problem. She's like a flight stand guarantee. She has to be on a flight stand, which is a problem because then you have her flying through the air with a fixed look on her face. So that's not great. Also, the head, because of the hair, it doesn't really move much. You don't get good head articulation lest you pop it off. So that's not great. So the articulation on the head isn't good. The hair looks great. Actually, I'm not sure how I feel about the blue rinse over it. It feels a bit like old lady, you know? So the jury's out on that one. But the claws are nice. She actually has like the sharp, special claws. So I kind of dig the claws, and the whip, the grappling, like the cat claw there. That's great too. So actually, you know, this is, I just suddenly appreciate this figure more than I was expecting to. Well done, Felicia. I'm not going to say bye, Felicia, like the kids say. I don't even know what context to use that in. I guess saying goodbye to someone you don't like. Either way, whoa, we just hit 5 minutes. Okay, so to wrap up, that was a very Shadowless Prime sounding. Whoa, we gotta wrap up now. So I don't need to Seth Rogen there as well. Oh, okay, I'm gonna do this and then smoke some weed. So yeah, Felicia Hardy, much better than I thought. I thought I was gonna put her in first place. I was gonna, prove, no, I thought I was gonna put her behind Superior. But actually, no, she's gonna go above Superior. So on my little spreadsheet here, Superior is gonna get bumped down to number 2, and we have a new number 1 figure in Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. Alright guys, that was my quick 5-minute review of Felicia Hardy, and yeah, I'm digging her. I got a new love for this figure again. I'm loving this project. Yeah, the bright red rosy lips, the busty physique, which we're probably not going to see too much of anymore now that Disney is kind of in charge, which, you know what? It's fine. We can get our TNA elsewhere. I have enough of a collection of toys in my man cave that it's fine, but for what it is, I actually kind of dig this. So you know what? In 5 minutes, I got a whole new love for Felicia Hardy.